Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you this evening. I want to share with you of how we are starting 2023. I hope you got through well in 2022. I hope you are fine. I hope the Lord brought you through properly in good health, and also business-wise. I hope you're thriving, because you're not meant to survive, but you're meant to thrive. You're meant to thrive, especially as children of God. We're meant to thrive. So my name is Jonan Kandwanaho, and I'm the team leader at Jonaki Holdings Limited. And at Jonaki Holdings Limited, we offer credit, we offer financial relief, we do bridge financing. So you have a consignment at the border post, you want to clear that consignment in a short time, and probably the banks or other financial institutions are telling you come after a week, after 2 weeks, after a month. As we finance in the record time of 12 hours, and you have the money, and then you can clear that consignment and sell and then pay back. We have what we call the farmer's mentality rather than the hunter's mentality. We want to support fellow farmers' mentality, business players or business leaders. So my today's talk is majorly about how I see 2023, especially in the financial industry. Because Jonaki Holdings Limited plays in the financial industry, in the money lending industry. So I want to share with my colleagues who are in the similar business to be well aware and prepare themselves on how this 2023 is going to roll out. These are key pointers that if you take them serious, as I've already said, if you act on them, you'll benefit. And definitely if you don't act on them, if you don't take them serious, they will not benefit you. Point number one is it is important that you start the year 2023 with a farmer's mentality. In having that mentality is that you're meant to serve the clients with the intention to establish a relationship. Because of late you've seen the attacks, a number of attacks on money lending, microfinance institutions, and all, on how they're defrauding clients and how they are defrauding people. But I do not think that all microfinance institutions or money lenders defraud clients. So there are some who are doing good work, and it's only those who are doing legit things that can stand the test of time. And if anyone is doing weird things or defrauding clients, then you're not in this business for a long haul. You have a hunter's mentality. So that means you want to get that quick money and run away with it. And before you know it, you'll close shop. Because the Bible says in Proverbs 13, I think 11, that dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. So ideally, you're meant to gather your money little by little. And you see, I might be speaking to people who are doing money lending or who are in financial industry, but also it speaks to people who are doing other businesses as well. You need to cultivate a culture of a farmer's mentality, not looking at a short close of the deal and then you are all with it. Where we are headed in this year 2023, I see a lot of progression on businesses that are cultivating relationships rather than closing the deal and moving away. Because before you know it, you're closing a deal. You can only close deals with a few clients or with as many clients, but it cannot sustainably run your business. Before you know it, you can ably close shop. So there's need to cultivate relationships. So if you're a business with a farmer's mentality, that means you're going to cultivate relationships with clients also who have the same mentality. I also want to note it on the side of the clients. There are some clients that have the hunter's mentality. All he wants is a quick fix of the money that he wants, with the intention perhaps not to pay back or defraud you. And before you know it, he's out of the window. But he can only do it to a number of microfinance institutions. Before he knows it, he's already in a fix, or he's arrested, or he'll get caught. So when you develop this mentality on the side of the business as a lender, then you actually tend to attract clients with the same farmer's mentality, who are looking at relationships, who are looking at moving with you for over a long haul. As I've always said, that our business thrives on trust. So clients need to trust you first before they can actually get money from you. This works a lot in the finance, in the money lending industry, in the financial world, and majorly also in other businesses. But what I know is that trust is very key in the financial industry. So you need to be trusted first before someone can actually come and borrow money from you or from your institution. So in a way, as you're building the culture of the farmer's mentality amongst your team or in your institution, you also are attracting clients of the same mentality. Clients who are not after the transaction or after that deal and they run away, but clients who are after establishing a relationship. I'll give an example. At Jonaki Holdings Limited, there are some clients that have started with as little as borrowing 1 million. And before you know it, the guy can even qualify for 5 million. Before you know it, the guy is actually clearing a consignment that is worth 10 million. Before you know it, now the guy can even qualify for 50 million. You are literally walking the journey with this guy. You are literally growing with this guy. And that's the mentality that we should be cultivating this year, 2023. Or else, the way things are heading, because there are a number of fraudsters, there are a number of guys with wicked intentions. So we also need to buckle up. We need to step up our game to assess properly. And this comes down to assessment as well on the side of the lenders. You need to assess the clients properly. What is this guy going to use the money for? Especially if the client is going to use the money to spend it in a particular party or to go have fun and all, it will be very difficult for that person to actually pay back. Why? Because he will not have something significant, something tangible, where he or she invested the money and where he will get the zeal to pay back. Because in any case, he will say that, you know what, even the money that I got from these guys, I didn't use it for something substantial. So it becomes a problem to pay back. Why? Because he had a hunter's mentality. And that's how we end up with bad clients. So in your assessment, if you're targeting clients with the farmer's mentality, you're looking at a client and where he's going to invest the money. So you're not doing the quick fix, the quick fix, the assessment that is haphazard, that is half-baked. You're actually doing a thorough assessment in a record time, especially looking at the intention with which a client intends to invest the money. For example, if he wants to invest in a business that is profitable, if he's planning to invest in clearing a consignment that is going to generate more revenue, something like that, it should give you a picture of what it is that you're looking at. And that alone can help you assess whether someone is looking for a facility to consume it or looking for a facility to grow himself. Because the person who gets a facility to grow himself, it becomes easy for him or her to pay back than a person who is consumptive. So that's a very, very key thing. So point number 2 is that you need to democratize the information, the financial information of the clients. You need to democratize. If I'm getting a facility from you, it should be as transparent as possible. The information that I need, I should be able to access it digitally. So it could be there and it's still operating informally. It will be very hard that if you're still operating informally to start probably establishing a few systems. Because if you're looking at the business standing a test of time or thriving beyond you, you then need to look at how you can make it transparent. And one of the methods that have been proven is digitalizing your business. So if you've been working the manual Excel, if you've been working the hard paper thing, there should be options for online transactions. There should be options for online transactions. A client, especially for repeat clients that you have in your system, you should be able to serve them minus them actually coming to your table or to your office. Because I could be in Kenya or I could be in South Africa and I have something I want to clear, but because I have a relation with you, because I've ever got a facility with you, or in any case, actually your collateral is still with you, then I didn't first come to office to transact with you. As a matter of fact, at Jonaki Holdings Limited, especially for clients that we have built relationships with, a guy can actually just apply online for a facility that is worth 100 million or even 50 million and access it. even when he's in the diaspora. Why? Because we already have the information that we may need to get from any client at any particular moment. So why on earth would we strain, especially good clients, put them on pressure or tell them to come to office when we can actually serve them wherever they are? Point number 2, they can ably access their bank statements, their statements, their credit statements, their credit history with us online. So all I need to do is that I just share with you the link if you're a client, and then you can actually ably see the payments that you have made, the interest that you owe us, and actually mode of payment can be sought at your convenience. So you can actually pay using your phone when you're not actually supposed. You might not necessarily come to office to actually pay up. So where we're headed in 2023, I'm looking at if you want to experience significant growth in your business, then you have to look at transparency, ease of access of information on the side of the clients. As and when they need the information, it should be readily available online for them to actually access it. And then 2, there should be a platform for interaction. If in case there's a challenge, in case there's a question, there's been an invasion of WhatsApp business. How fast can a client reach you out? Is it that the client cannot reach you even over the weekend just because it's a weekend? I mean, people travel, people live in different countries. So if I need particular information concerning my facility at any particular time, I should be able to access that information. So make it easy for the client, make it as transparent as possible. And all this is going to help you to establish a very good relationship with the client. And then eventually you will cultivate clients with the farmer's mentality that will have the fellow mentality, the same mentality that you actually have as well. And before you know it, you're actually growing with the client. And then point number 3, something that you have to watch out for in this 2023 is a number of innovations have come in place that whether you like it or not, you'll have to adopt. For example, through fintechs, someone should be able to access money to pay on a particular product without necessarily coming for a loan directly. This is how I'd explain it. It is called embedded finance. Embedded finance is arranged in a way that if I need a brand new car, I might not necessarily come to Jonaki to apply for a facility, but rather I'll go and partner with a bond guy who actually has a car. Then I finance the car, and then for you can actually access the car. And that's a product that we're looking at, and we've explored as Jonaki Holdings Limited. You know, you go identify a car that you like. We go talk to the owner, the bond, and then they can actually help you access the car as we pay the bond, and then we work it out with you as a client. So that is embedded finance. There could be a number of other products that you're looking at. Could be clothes, could be few items, maybe fridges, could be household items, maybe a sofa that is expensive. You could be furnishing your house. Such an arrangement is what is coming through, or that would help in the trajectory of the 2023. So if you're running a microfinance institution or lending money, it is important that you look at that aspect as well, because in a way you're going to establish the relationship which we started with, that you actually direly need with the client as you're helping them access the item without them necessarily coming to go through the rigorous assessment that you actually do on them. Or of course you assess the client still, but this is a different way, because you're already securing the item to them to access it, but also you're going to benefit from the interest that you're going to be charging on this item. So a client is being helped to access that item, of which it would have taken him a number of years or a number of months to access it. Of course, you look at the financials and all the other things, but it's good to have that in your mind, that you should make it easy for a client through embedded financing to access an item that they want without necessarily coming straight to apply for a facility from your microfinance institution. And then very, very finally, of course, there are a number of factors, but time is not on our side. The very finally, the other key factor that you may need to look at is that there's a huge volatility of the financial industry. Huge volatility with a bit of scarcity of money in the system, because the government, which is the biggest spender, is also not spending as much. Inflation is going back to the third digit, so there is a bit of scarcity of money and plenty of things that have to be consumed by the public. So in a way, you have to trade carefully. So for those who are starting out to lend, or who are new in the financial world, you need to put a limit. If you don't have a limit on the amount of money that you lend out, now is the time to start thinking about putting the limit. Because instead of crowding my 200 million capital on one client, putting one risk in one basket, then I'd rather disperse 10 million to 10 clients, because the 10 clients that I'm going to disperse the 10 million to make it 100 million might not pose the same risk, that whereas Jonan might default, someone else, probably Andy, might pay. Whereas Andy might get a constraint in his business or his deal, probably Justine might ably pay. So when you disperse your risk, it will help you a lot. So put a cap. I advise that you don't actually give more than 20% of your loan portfolio to one particular client, because then you'll dance to the tunes of that particular client. And before you know it, you'll get more clients who are very good. You have assessed them properly, but you cannot serve them. Why? Because you do not have the money. And why? Because money is seated somewhere with one client who took you 100 million. So you can easily get out of business. That if something sudden and bad happened to that person, you actually can easily get out of business. So it's important that you disperse your money amongst a number of clients and put a cap. You reach a moment and you're like, if banks have a cap, what of you, a microfinance institution or a lender? So put a cap based on the capital that you actually have. Know that, my limit is 50 million. Beyond that, I cannot trade, especially for new clients. Because you've not served this person before. At least you can stretch for a return client when you've seen their history, perhaps their third or fourth time. But for a new client, you have to trade carefully. Why? Because the economy is constrained. I'm not predicting doom, but it's constrained a little bit. There's cost of money, so you need to trade very carefully. If you've been following the waves of social media, there are lots of frauds happening. There are lots of defaults happening. So you need to trade very carefully if you have to keep in business in this year 2023. And maybe a parting shot as I close this session is that it is important to know that the business is not for you alone. It's not for you alone. You're not serving you alone. So you're serving your staff, you're serving your community, and there are a number of people lined up that are feeding on that business that you need to trade carefully, that you need to be very careful. Because if you close that business, your family might not suffer, but there are a number of people who could suffer because you've closed that shop. There are people that you're employing, there are people that you're serving. So it's important to have a mindset of knowing that you're not serving you, but rather you're serving a number of other families, a number of other dependents, because you're employing people that have families that have other dependents. So look at it in that picture, and it will help you a lot and give you the zeal and the energy to wake up every morning to go and serve, to wake up every morning to go and do great exploits, because you're not serving you, but rather you're serving the community, you're serving the country, you're serving the world. And if you're serving yourself and only you and your family is consuming the services that you're rendering, then there's a problem. And before you know it, you might close shop, because ultimately every business, not even necessarily money lending, has to have clients. If you don't have clientele, then you might have to close shop. And if you have clientele, that means you have to keep in business, because people need your services. Families need to thrive because of you. So step up your game. If challenges are happening, press on, go and make things happen, because you have no option. There are lots of things at stake. If you make a negative decision and close that thing, it might be the end of life of a number of people that depend on that venture to run. So go out there, do that thing very well, and the Lord will be glad that you exist in society, in this country, that you can actually create employment and support families, because that's the ultimate of business. So with that, I speak a blessing over you guys for tuning in. I speak a blessing over you. I speak God's hand over you. Go out there and succeed. Go out there and shalak. Go out there and do great exploits for the Lord. But above all, go serve your communities, go serve your country and the world. So see you at the top. Thanks for tuning in. See you on Friday, 5:30 to 6, with yet an interesting other topic. Majorly, I capitalize on money lending because it's what we do, and I wish I could help a number of people who are doing this thing so that they can finance businesses that are struggling, so they can support as many people as possible, so they can create employment as much as they can. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great evening. Cheers and bye-bye.